to thank you all for coming. These are my friends Lauren, Gabby, Hannah, and Evan. We are from the Catholic Cook School in Chicago, Illinois. This is the second year attending for Lauren, Gabby, and myself. While we have two new members here, Hannah and Evan. We started last year on this project because when we looked around the streets of our city, we noticed that there was a lot of pollution, and most of that was plastic. So we wanted to make a change in this, especially in our school community, as we noticed there was a lot of plastic there. So we started working on this issue last year. We presented at the conference in Santo Domingo. And this year we've come back with an all-new presentation for you guys.
Okay. So many people are constantly using plastic in their everyday lives, but a lot of people don't actually know what it is or how harmful it can be. Plastic was made in the 1800s for pool balls and is a synthetic material that can be molded into many different shapes and is used for many different things. It is very convenient because it is cheap and easy to make, so businesses commonly use it to package their products. But many people don't even think about plastic's effects on us or its effects on the environment when they use it. Plastic is made up of many different chemicals, so there are different types of plastic. Some of them are well known, like the plastic used in water bottles and bags. However, there are many hidden plastics, like the plastic in paints, and even some types of bread. Many people don't realize that plastic is in acrylic paint, which is put on pencils, so I'm sure all of you use plastic in your everyday lives without you realizing it.
Does anybody, how many of you use plastic every day? Does anybody know how much plastic you use, how many pieces of plastic you use every day?
What do you guys think on, S? Genesis, how much do you use?
I'm gonna go with, so without throwing it away, or?
No, throwing it away, single-use plastic.
Oh, then 10 at the most, or least. I don't know. Sorry.
What about you, Jessica?
Thanks. Probably 7 or 8. I don't know.
Okay. Does anyone think they use more or less than that?
I'd say I use more.
Erica?
I use more because I wear contact lenses, and the lens is made of plastic.
Yeah.
I think we use much more without realizing.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of us realize how much plastic we're actually using. Every time you eat, a bar, that's a piece of plastic that you used, or you eat a bag of chips, that's another piece of plastic.
Or just wrappers on items or stuff like that.
If you buy anything anywhere, practically everything is wrapped in plastic. How's the PowerPoint going?
We're working on it.
Yeah, 2 more minutes.
Okay. Hey, so the PowerPoint's up.
Can I just talk about
Okay. I guess we're gonna keep going. Another place that you will find a lot of plastic is in exfoliating face wash. Exfoliating face wash is full of these little teeny grains of plastic that you don't even see, called microplastics. And they're less than a millimeter circumference in size, so most times you don't see them, and they rub the dead skin off your face. When you wash your face, all the microplastics get washed down the drain and sometimes go into people's freshwater sources. And they're just too small to be filtered out with the rest of the bigger pieces of plastic. There are sometimes over 100,000 microplastics per kilometer squared of the Great Lakes, which provide 84% of North America's freshwater supply. There is no good way to collect all the little plastic particles because in order to get a net that small, you'd also be picking up a lot of the marine life and aquatic plants.
The last kind of plastic that we're going to be talking about is bread. So a lot of bread has a chemical called azodicarbonamide, which is used in many types of plastic. So although there aren't physical pieces of plastic in the bread, there's a chemical that's used in bread to make it easier to work with.
guys a little bit about plastic. We're going to show you a bit more from the PowerPoint, but we've given you a general idea. Also, one of the main reasons that plastics are so harmful is because of the two main chemicals that are in them, called bisphenol A, also known as BPA, and phthalates. Basically, they're just little chemicals that come in most types of single-use plastics. So say if you use a single-use plastic water bottle multiple times, then it can release those chemicals after a while, especially if it's heated up. And those chemicals can lead to many different and harmful causes, such as cancer, birth defects for the kids, premature growth, and a lot of other bad things.
And it's also a lot more likely for those problems to happen when plastic is exposed to heat because chemicals leach out of plastic when it's exposed to heat. So.
So there's microplastics, and then there's
azodicarbonamide, which is that chemical used in bread. Okay, start.
Alright, so there are many things that you guys can do to help reduce your plastic usage, and those are, we're not. So, how many of you know what the 3 R's are? Raise your hand if you do. Alright, that's good. So, just to clarify, they stand for reduce, reuse, and recycle, and there's a good reason why they're in that order. The first is for reduce, which is reduce the amount of plastic that you can use or have to use. The second is reuse, so any plastic that you have to use, try to reuse it as much as you can. And then finally, there's recycle. There's no other alternative. You can recycle the plastic that can be. So always look for signs on the bottom that should tell you whether or not this should be recycled. And then you'll be able to tell which ones those are.
Okay.
Alright, so now we're going to play a game. We've taught you guys a little bit about vocabulary, and so some of you guys may have heard of this game before. It's called Heads Up, and it's a game on the iPad. And so we're going to split you guys into 2 groups. So, I don't know, like just down the middle or something. So you guys will be a group, and you guys will be a group. And so how you play is on the iPad, you pull it up, and you guys, we're probably going to do 2 rounds, and each group chooses like 2 people to come up, and when it's the first person's turn, 1 person at a time, they put the iPad to their forehead, the screen facing the rest of the people. And on the iPad, there's going to be a word, a vocabulary word. And the people in who they're facing, the rest of the group members, have to describe that word without like saying any part of the word or using any letters or numbers. And you can't spell it out or mouth it. And once you guess the word, you tip it forward. And if you can't guess it, you just tip it backward to pass. And you see how many you can get in a minute, how many vocab words. And then when you guys are done, keep track of how much those 2 people got, how many points those 2 people got. And the winning team will get candy.
So we need a volunteer from this. What 2 people want to
So we got 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, some of you guys got
People put groceries.
facing there. And you guys are going to have to explain the word.
The one in red?
Yeah.
You're right with that.
Yeah.
You eat it, and it has yeah. It's the first. It's a hard. Yeah. Oh,
This is
is it like
It's a giant patch of plastic in the ocean. Giant. Guess an ocean.
Plastic in the ocean.
You're not gonna get it.
Oh my God. It's
Plastic.
how many do you have?
We have a lot.
Okay, so if you guys remember, we were talking about the 3 R's. So the first thing that you should do in the 3 R's is reduce. So who has any ideas about how you can reduce your plastic usage by using alternatives?
You can reduce your plastic use by using reusable food containers for your lunch.
Good.
You can also use reusable water bottles like
Any other ideas?
Those reusable bags you can get like at Walmart.
Okay, some of our ideas, like we said, we're bringing reusable bags to school or to the grocery store instead of buying their plastic bags, and using food containers for snack instead of using Ziploc bags. And a lot of the time, instead of using plastic water bottles, you guys have glass, so that's another good alternative, is reusing water bottles or doing reusable water bottles that are more durable plastic, so you can reuse them a lot.
Because just to clarify, single-use plastic is the main problem. Like, we know that it's going to be really hard not to use plastic at all. So if you have to use plastic, it's better to use reusable plastic, like those reusable water bottles.
Okay, the second thing you can do is reuse. If you do have to use plastic, it's best to reuse it. So like at our school, we have a big mural on the lunchroom wall, and it's made out of plastic bottle caps that we saved in a big bin after people had plastic water bottles. They put the caps into the bin, and then they glued it on to make like a really pretty mural, and it made really pretty art.
Okay, so the last thing that you can do is recycle, and we have the rules for Chicago up here. I'm not too sure about like where you all live, but in Chicago, you should look at the bottom or around the sides of a piece of plastic, and there should be a number inside the recycling arrows. If the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7, then you can recycle that piece of plastic. But you cannot recycle number 6, and you cannot recycle the piece of plastic if it does not have a number inside the recycling arrows or if there's no recycling arrows at all.
So now, really quickly, get into the same groups that you were before. You can kind of like line up into like lines over here. We're going to play recycling relays. So, over there. One group here and one group there.
Yeah, one group line up here, and the other group line up.
So, we have 2 piles.
Okay, get into your groups that you were in for a heads up.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, you guys are just going to take turns. We're going to pass you a piece of plastic, and you have to put it in the right spot. And if one person puts it in the wrong spot, then like the next person has to go fix it, and whoever gets it done first.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right, so we're going to, so you guys pass out.
Okay, ready?
And just look at like the number. What? What? What's not a what? All right, ready? Okay, ready? Set, go. All right, you guys have to look for the number. Gabby, look at the right one. That's incorrect. Next person has to fix that. Reset. It's not trash. Wait, put it in. Yes, it is. There's no more. No more, Lauren. It's fine. Yeah. Come back. Run over there. 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 Go in the back. This is not right. There, go fix it.
Yes.
Well, who's next?
Yeah.
I'm next. Trash. Have you gone?
Carly,
You don't need to go. Have you gone? Trash. And then are we going to wait?
Yeah.
Go!
Alright, so next up, guys, that is tie, coincidentally. Plastic pollution is a big issue in our society, and that's why we want to tackle it, like we said. We started with a little goal. We want to reduce the amount of plastic use we've had, and now we've come very far from when we first started, about a year ago. We've been talking in schools, like we said, we talked to almost all the kids in our school. As of now, we plan to do is speak to other kids in the community and at other schools. Educating people is only half the battle on plastic. We need you guys to spread awareness about how bad plastic can be. A little knowledge can go a long way. That's nice.
At the beginning of the year, we had a plastic collection to figure out how much plastic our school uses, just to get a general idea of what we were working with. Each day was a different floor, and every day after school, we counted up all the pieces of plastic that we collected. We found that our school uses about 1,000 pieces of plastic per day, and we only have 520 kids, preschool through 8th grade. That adds up to about 200,000 pieces of plastic per school year, and that's not counting summer breaks, weekends, or other breaks. The problem is that we are a really small school, and there are much bigger schools in Chicago and much bigger schools in other countries and other states.
So basically what we want you guys to do is to spread awareness about the issue, because we use a lot more plastic than you might think, and as we were talking about earlier, it affects us and it affects our environment. Like, animals are constantly being killed by it, humans are getting diseases from it. So basically what we want you guys to do is to spread awareness about plastic and try to use alternatives. So, how much time do you have?
We give 10 minutes. Wrap up at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Then do we?
Okay. Well, we're gonna play like a little.
We're gonna play until we have to
Yeah,
stop.
and you guys.
So-
Yeah, and you guys are in the same groups as like last time.
We have to pass it around.
Yeah, you pass it around. Okay. Yeah.
No, I pass it around as fast as you can. Like that question, doesn't matter than the other. You say
I'm ready.
Okay,
Yeah, guys.
so each team is gonna have, so we're gonna do okay. So we're gonna ask one team is gonna ask, or gonna pick one of the categories and one of the point values. And then when the question comes on, both of the teams, whoever hits the bell first gets to answer the question and gets the points.
And you guys will pass around the bell, so it's not all one person.
Yes. Okay, so
Your team can choose
Yeah,
first,
your
since
team.
you won last.
yeah. So what category and
What
value
category
do you want?
do you want it to? Okay. Which category? Is there a way to turn off the light?
Yeah, light.
Light. This is fun. Light. Okay. All right. What you can do and what do you want the point value to be? 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay. What is the best thing you can do to stop this issue?
The 3 R's. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
What's like which one?
Reduce, and then reuse, and then recycle.
Yeah. Yes. Good job. You got 500. I'm ready.
And the last-
So they have 500.
We put a ring on their turn.
Yeah. What?
5. What? I can't see.
Yeah.
No.
You guys can bring on each other's questions.
What is plastic and hidden plastics? 5.0.
Click. Acrylic paint. Yeah. 500.
say this?
Yes. 1,000.
Quickly.
Announce it.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know.
Okay, how do I start it?
Yeah, that was it.
No, it's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. 2,000.
No, you guys get an opportunity. What do you think it is? 10,000.
No, 1,000.
I got
2,500.
no, it's higher. It's
10,000.
100,000.
Okay, but yes, 1,000. You guys have 1,000. You guys have 500.
Okay.
So you guys choose a category.
Both have 500.
What is the chemical noun of bread? Yeah, it's like a really hard to pronounce.
It starts with an A. You guys Azorab. I don't know. What? Okay, how I think we get that.
No, I don't get that. Okay, now it's you guys' turn to choose a category. 500. Yeah, that's correct. 1,000 to 1,000. Alright, now it's your guys' turn to choose a category.
What can you do 400?
Alright. What plastics can be recycled? They did it. Hey.
Oh, they did it.
I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
Now it's your guys' turn to choose a category. Your team. 400. Fun fact. Alright. Okay, calm down.
No, we did.
Yeah, that's right.
You're in my
You
village.
guys are tied. Okay, guys, for now, wait for us to read it before you ring the bell.
Okay.
If you ring before you
I think we should do it this way. The one who chooses the
category.
the category is the one who gets to choose it,
Okay,
and if they
okay.
don't.
How much?
Alright,
Yeah,
okay, that's good. So it's 1,401 votes. Okay, so now it's your turn to choose.
The issue 400.
Alright, name at least 3 effects of making it out. Yes. Yep, that's right. 1,800. Alright, now it's your turn to choose a category. 400. What? Vocabulary. What is plastic? A material that use so that
A material that a person uses. No, I hear it.
That's right. That's your turn to go.
So that's how
Jeopardy works.
started.
Where are microplastics?
We're on microplastics. Yeah, they're right. What's the score? 2,200 and 1,800. Alright, now it's your turn to choose. 300. Alright, what can you do 300? Name 2 alternatives. Plastic bag. Yes.
Walmart bags.
Yeah.
And like food containers. Like
Yeah. Yeah. 2,100. 2,200.
Oh my God. What is plastic and what is plastic 300?
1,800. Yeah, that's right.
that's right.
Wow.
2,400. Oh, great, 2,500.
Come on, way to go, Hannah.
Go me.
Which one?
You want five?
300. Fun fact.
All right.
What was plastic originally made for?
Beach balls.
Yeah. No.
Yes, of course. Football.
Well, they thought
We meant like pool ball.
Yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a game.
Not like